One of the biggest mistakes RVers make is not picking the best site, but not knowing how to make the decision on what site to pick. And so I kind of break that down into three separate areas. So one is, what type of traveling are you doing? Are you traveling someplace for long term? Are you going to be using highway, freeway systems and you need something just for the night? Are you looking for something for a quiet place to rest for several days, several weeks, maybe a month? And three is this an experience that you're wanting to do, to have with yourself or your family, in which you might want a certain outdoor feel, fishing, camping, fire pit, whatever, right? So those are things that you have to take in consideration. So you want to think about the noise, the type of people, the safety, and of course the cost. And so you filter all of that through your decision making, and then you come out with what you think is the best decision for yourself. And something else is, when you're deciding what you're going to be doing during that time, so are you working? If you're going to be working, do you have what you need for an internet connection, for say, let's just say use Starlink as an example. You need an open sky as much as possible. You don't want obstructions, or it's going to slow down your internet speed, and it might make it very difficult for you to work in general. Also is the resources that you need to accomplish your goals within a certain driving radius. You might have annual paperwork that you need to do. If you're from South Dakota, or you're from California, Florida, New Mexico, it doesn't really matter. Every state pretty much has annual paperwork that you need to take care of. And so are you close to those government agencies so you can take care of that within the time period that you have allotted? And can you create some wiggle room with either the park, the state park, the national park, to give you an extra day or two if you need it, right? You may not need it, but if you do, it's good to have that as an option later on. Something to consider is, a lot of times the fancier RV parks love to talk about all these frills and things that they offer. And honestly, for the most part, I don't find that they're worth it. It's basically just stuff to draw you in for a higher price, and you don't end up using the stuff anyway, because a lot of the stuff is sometimes it's run down because it's not really used too much, so they don't put a lot of effort and money into the maintenance of it. I'm not against KOA campgrounds per se, but I think a lot of them are overpriced for what you're getting. However, sometimes they have a one-stop shop setup, and getting your natural gas there on site, that's pretty handy, right? If you're going to be there a long period of time, they might have very large tanks for you to use on a monthly rate. So you have to evaluate each site individually. Some sites may have really high daily rates, say $70 to $80 a night, which I consider that on the high side. But others will have a monthly rate, same park, that's maybe $1,000, right? So your average per day goes down. And so you have to take all that into consideration. When you're traveling around and you're on the highway system, something that I started using recently was some of these full service truck gas stations, and Love's is one I've come to love. I'm not gonna lie. They have pretty much everything I need, from DEF fluid to diesel to sometimes they have dump stations, but now they have these RV parks. Now, if you're gonna want to stay and you want a solid night's sleep and you want to stay for 12 or more hours and you just want to stay overnight there, go get some food, get your gas and everything, and get back on the road. Those Love's RV stations, they're worth it. And I've been seeing they're roughly $40 to $45 per night, which honestly, for a full service, all your utilities, you got sewer, you got water, and you got electric. Keep in mind that I have found a couple of the sewers to not be adequate, and you need to have additional fittings for your sewer hose to make sure that they're going to fit. Other than that, that's the only issue I've really ever had. Some of them are easier to get in than others. I found that so far they're all back-in sites, but I have seen a few advertised that are pull-throughs. 50 amps seems to be pretty common. 30 or 50. Let's see what else. You get food. Sometimes they have a restaurant, sometimes Arby's, McDonald's, whatever, something like that. Also, there might be a gas station across the street. Like usually if you have a Love's, you have a Pilot. They're usually pretty close together, and they both have different services, and so that's something for you to think about. As you move forward, you're going to become more skilled at this decision making. So if you're going to be using Love's, or you're going to be using an RV park, or you're going to be using a state park or a federal park, make sure you have all of your discount cards, right? For example, I have the Love's discount on my phone. I use that for my gas and my discounts. I got Pilot on my phone. And some of them, like Good Sam, clicks in there. Some of them give military discounts. If you go into a state park that you are residents of, you might get a pretty good discount, right? There from the state park. For example, daily use fees could be between $6 and $10. Well, if you're staying for a week, that's anywhere that could be $70 to $100. It just depends on what they are. But you can get those removed if you're a resident of that state. You still have to pay whatever the RV camping fee is, but normally that's fairly reasonable. And when you remove that daily fee for entrance, it just works great to your advantage. Also, if you're a senior citizen, retiree, you want to take advantage of those cards as well that lower your overall expenses, long term. Also, there is some programs. I'm not a member of 1,000 Trails, but I'm aware of it. But we are a member of Good Sam, we are a member of Escapees, and a few other groups that gives us a good take on where the discounts are. A couple tools that I like to use, obviously, when we're doing the checking and deciding on where we're going to go. You got the RV, search that you're using on Google Maps, Google search. Sometimes you can use ChatGPT to give you a general list, and then you can narrow that down on an internet search within the browser itself, Chrome or Microsoft, whatever you use. And then sometimes I'll look those sites up on Allstays. I love the Allstays app. I use it on my phone quite a bit, and that gives me the ability to zero in on additional reviews from people that are more let's see, what's the word? They're not necessarily more sensitive, but they're more detail-orientated long-term RVers. So they're going to give more information on a site at Allstays than they may give on Google Maps. Now, I'm going to use the reviews on Google Maps as well because it is useful, but I don't use that as my number one criteria. My number one criteria is, what is the park used for? And am I in a season that's going to be working to my advantage or against my advantage? So that's just something to think about. So I want you to just give that some thought. And until next time, I'll give you some more RV tips, that I use to filter where we stay, where we go, different things that we do on the road. Talk to you later.